The rain hammered against the glass walls of Apex Tower like it was trying to break in. Inside the 42nd floor executive suite, the storm felt distant, muted by thick carpet, leather chairs, and the low hum of the city below. Elena Voss, CEO of Voss Dynamics, stood at the floor-to-ceiling window, arms crossed, staring at the blurred lights of downtown. Her reflection stared back, sharp jawline, dark hair pulled into a flawless chignon, eyes that had closed billion-dollar deals without blinking. She hadn't slept properly in weeks. The door opened behind her without a knock. She didn't turn. "You're late," she said. Alexander Hale stepped inside, shaking rain from his coat. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a simple navy sweater and jeans, nothing like the tailored suits that used to fill this office when he worked here. His hair was damp, a few strands falling over his forehead. He looked tired, but not defeated. "I had to drop Mia at her grandmother's," he said quietly. Traffic was hell. Elena finally turned. "Mia." "Right. Your daughter." "Our daughter," Alex corrected, voice steady. The words landed like a slap. Elena's lips pressed into a thin line. 3 years ago, Alex Hale had been her right-hand man, brilliant strategist, VP of operations, the one person she trusted to challenge her without fear. They had been more than colleagues. Late nights turned into early mornings, shared coffee turned into shared secrets, and one reckless weekend in Tokyo sealed it. When she found out she was pregnant, panic hit harder than any boardroom crisis. She'd made the call. Alone. No discussion. No warning. Just a clinic appointment and a cold email to HR requesting a leave of absence for personal reasons. Alex returned from a client trip to find her gone, the office rumor mill already spinning tales of burnout. He pieced it together months later when a mutual friend let slip the truth. By then, Elena had resigned from her own company, temporarily handed the reins to a trusted deputy, and vanished into a private maternity leave the press never caught wind of. She gave the baby up for adoption. Closed adoption. No contact. No second thoughts. Or so she told herself. Alex never forgave her. He quit the next week, took a modest job at a logistics firm, and raised their daughter alone after tracking down the adoptive family through sheer persistence and legal loopholes. The adoptive parents, overwhelmed and kind-hearted, had relinquished custody when Mia was 6 months old. Alex became a single dad overnight. Now, 3 years later, Elena had clawed her way back to the CEO chair. The company was thriving. But the guilt had grown into something monstrous. She had asked him here tonight under the pretense of a settlement discussion. In truth, she wanted to see him. Needed to. Alex dropped into one of the visitor chairs without invitation. "What do you want, Elena?" She walked to her desk, picked up a slim folder, and slid it across to him. "This is a trust fund for Mia. 10 million. Discreet. No strings. It activates on her 18th birthday. Or earlier, if you need it for education, medical, anything." He didn't touch the folder. "You think money fixes this?" "I think it's a start." Alex laughed, short and bitter. "A start? You gave her away like she was a quarterly report you didn't like. Then you disappear for 3 years, come back like nothing happened, and expect me to, what?" "Thank you." Elena's hands trembled slightly. She clasped them behind her back. "I was scared. I wasn't ready. The company was on the edge of collapse. I thought." "You thought about yourself," he cut in. "That's all you've ever thought about." Silence stretched between them, thick as the rain outside. Elena moved closer, perching on the edge of her desk. Up close, she could see the faint lines around his eyes, new since she'd last seen him. Fatherhood had changed him. Softened the edges, but hardened the core. "I see her sometimes," she said softly. In photos your sister posts. She has your smile. And, my eyes. Alex's jaw tightened. Don't. I know I don't deserve to be in her life. I know that. But I need to know if you hate me. Really hate me. Or if there's any part of you that. Are you still mad at me? She asked, voice cracking for the first time. The question hung there, fragile and desperate. Alex looked up at her. Really looked. Not at the CEO. At the woman who'd once laughed in his arms, who'd whispered dreams in the dark. The woman who'd broken his heart and given away their child. He stood slowly. For a moment, she thought he might walk out. Instead, he stepped close enough that she could smell rain on his coat and the faint cedar of his cologne. His voice was low, almost gentle. I'm not mad at you anymore, Elena. Her breath caught. Relief flooded her, until he continued. Because being mad would mean I still care enough to feel something. But you killed that the day you signed those papers. What I feel now? Nothing. You're a stranger who shares DNA with my daughter. That's it. The words hit harder than any shout could have. Elena's knees buckled, she gripped the desk to stay upright. Alex picked up the folder, glanced at it once, then set it back down untouched. Keep your money, he said. Mia doesn't need it. She has a home. She has love. She has bedtime stories and scraped knees and someone who shows up every damn day. What she doesn't need is a ghost with a checkbook. He turned toward the door. Alex, wait. He paused, hand on the handle. She swallowed. Tell her I'm sorry. When she's old enough. If she ever asks. He didn't look back. If she asks, he said, I'll tell her the truth. That her mother chose power over her. And that I chose her over everything else. The door clicked shut behind him. Elena stood frozen for a long minute. Then she sank into her chair, staring at the folder. Rain streaked the windows like tears the building couldn't shed. Outside, Alex stepped into the elevator. His phone buzzed, a text from his mother. Mia wants to know if you'll read her the Dragon book again tonight. She's waiting up, He smiled, small but real. On my way, he typed back. The elevator descended, carrying him away from the tower, away from the woman who'd once held his future in her hands and thrown it away. Upstairs, Elena opened the folder anyway. Inside was more than financial documents. Tucked between pages was a single photo, grainy, printed from a phone. Mia at a park, laughing on a swing, curls wild in the wind. Elena traced the little girl's face with her fingertip. For the first time in 3 years, she cried. Not for what she'd lost. But for what she'd never truly had the courage to fight for.